This is a live Channels Television event.
Distinguished honorable members, you would find in the honorable minister's letter, well respected, Mr. Gwazo was removed based on PSR 034005. I cited it. The honorable minister said in paragraph 2 of the letter, your suspension is in line with PSR 03405 and PSR 03406. We have shown that those two provisions don't exist in the public service rules of Nigeria. In effect, Mr. Muni Gwazo was removed pursuant to unexisting laws in Nigeria, and nobody ought to be tried or held to have done anything pursuant to unexisting laws. Maybe the honorable minister meant PSR 030405 and 030406, maybe. And I have the civil service rules here, which I enjoin the distinguished members to read in whole, not in isolation. You would find that nothing in those two sections gives the honorable minister the power to suspend the DG of SEC. And then I also went on, he went on in his presentation to refer to his letter of appointment. I'm looking at page 13 of his presentation. And then if you're at that page, distinguished members, you'll find that we have looked at other provisions of the public service rules. Public service rule 0101 stipulates that these rules apply only to the extent that they are not inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution. And they are also not inconsistent with any other law that is applicable to the subject matter. So that where there is any inconsistency between the public service rules and the Constitution and Investment and Securities Act, automatically gives way. And then the ISA says the honorable minister has no such power. And then PSR 060101 expressly recognizes the Securities and Exchange Commission as a federal government parastatal that is structured and operates according to the instruments regulating it, not according to the public service rules, because that is a mistake that public officials make. I will show these distinguished members a section of the public service rules, chapter 16, which governs regulatory agencies, different from the public service that we all know about. Now, the PSR 160102 recognizes regulatory agencies as one of the 4 classes of parastatals. And then PSR 160103 expressly mandates parastatals to make their own rules and regulations. So SEC, as a parastatal, is entitled to make its rules, and SEC has made the rules and regulations and also made the staff manual that guides the conditions of service. That relates to the 2 SEC staff, and I just mentioned them in a passing because we are talking about the law. So PSR 160103 empowers SEC to retain its statutes, manual, rules, procedures, and practices, and the civil service rule can only apply where it is. And if the honorable members look at 160201, is a clear breach of that provision, the step taken by the minister. You look at, I have articulated all of them at pages 15 and 16, so I don't take the time. I have articulated all the public service rules.
To draw your attention to the fact that, you know, the suspended DG will still have to add flesh to what you're saying.
Yes.
So be mindful of the time.
So you would find at pages 16 and 18 that looking at the entire public service rules itself, that nothing in those rules conferred the honorable minister the power to suspend the SEC DG. And then if this honorable panel looks at pages 19 to 23 of Mr. Gwazo's presentation, in the same line, the distinguished members will find also the setting of the administrative panel is inconsistent with the Constitution, is inconsistent with the Investment and Securities Act, is inconsistent with the public service rules itself, which the honorable minister relied on. And in fact, by setting up a panel chaired by her own staff, she has become a judge in her own cause, which ought not to be. So I will leave the third aspect which the distinguished members would find from pages 23 to the end, that also deals with the correlation between our one and the other ones to the DG. I thank you very profusely.
Thank you very much. Before, so that we won't lose our line of thought, no, Mike, before the Subsidiary DG, please question for the, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dear SN, I'm inclined to agree that SEC and all whatnot could be a different species from the normal civil service, whatever it is. They have a different species and a different class. But you made also reference, you make reference seriously to what I may call subsidiary legislations by saying that the people of such class or persons of such class could make their own regulations and framework for their functioning, where such regulations becomes contrary to the main legislation. Should it stand?
No.
Fine, that's when I'm coming, take it easy. Because I agree, and I agree with you that SEC shouldn't be seen as public service. It's a species of it. And they're entitled to have their legislations, so that we call it, I call it subsidiary legislations. But where subsidiary legislations overrides the main legislations, or is in conflict, it is, me and you know exactly what to do. You also try to raise an issue of audio Trump, whatever, her case, for example. May I ask, did the panel, the administrative panel, did they submit interim or final report at all? Did they? Two, will it